Um, More Virginia, and this has a tie as well, maybe to the federal. I talked earlier about Glenn Youngkin and how he can't run for re-election. Poor guy. As soon as you're elected in Virginia as governor, you're already the lame duck. And in his case, it's even tougher. I mean, just like it was for Terry McAuliffe and for Ralph Northam, his Democratic predecessors, there are two popular U.S. senators. Both of them are Democrats, but they're also popular. Tim Kaine just won re-election this year by a pretty safe margin. Uh, Mark Warner's up for re-election in 2026. So if you're a governor, the next thing you can do, theoretically, right, is either, run for Senate or run for president. Well, we just elected a president. We have two popular Democratic U.S. senators, and so Glenn Youngkin, I think he's got to be angling for something in the Trump administration. There's Trump, though, is the problem for Youngkin is he's not a Fox News host, so he's not going to get anything there. So he's just kind of flailing around right now. Don't feel too sorry for him. His net worth's over $400 million. He had his office put out a press release today touting the 247,000 new jobs created under his watch since he took office in 2022. Now, he didn't give any credit to probably where it was due. Joe Biden, congressional Democrats, the Inflation Reduction Act, Republicans didn't vote for this thing. They tried everything they could to prevent it from happening, and they've been putting out their own press releases bragging about all the jobs they created, even though they didn't vote for the jobs. And this is the case a lot in Virginia too. Not only, Inflation Reduction Act, but a third of Virginia its economy is the federal government. I mean, our adjacency to the federal government. In Northern Virginia, uh, being a huge federal government, not only the direct government employees, but government contractors who locate in Northern Virginia. Um, we're talking about close to 700,000 people in our economy that work in the federal government that live in Virginia. Now, the good news is, yeah, we've created 247,000 new jobs since Glenn Youngkin took office. We'll thank the Democrats for that, but Glenn Youngkin wants to take credit for it. The bad news is, if the guy that Youngkin endorsed for president, Donald Trump, gets his way, um, hmm, those jobs are at risk. Trump, the effort I talked about earlier, the thing by Elon Musk, where they want to cut the government. If you cut the government, you're cutting jobs. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. The biggest amount of money spent by any organization is going to be your employees, and that's certainly the case with the federal government. So, the 300,000 Virginia residents who work directly for the federal government, the additional close to 400,000 who work for government contractors, it might not be so good for them. Now, Youngkin, for his part, clueless to all this. He had his office put out a press release touting the 2.9% unemployment rate. Nothing was said there about, well, we could lose a lot of jobs here. Remember a couple weeks ago, Youngkin, it was actually last week, he put out a statement saying, the great thing about the Commonwealth of Virginia is we have nearly 300,000 jobs unfilled. So, hey, we can absorb some of those people through those other jobs. A lot of those jobs, unfortunately, are, I mean, folding sweaters at Old Navy, making sandwiches at Subway. If you're a government employee or a government contractor, probably a little bit below the pay grade there. But um, that's the case with how Republicans like to fill up those jobs.